So, welcome to the channel. I hope welcome back, but if it's the first time, just welcome. So here is a guide on the Grand Hunter, as you can see from the screen. So let's start with the general idea, then we are going to show some matches. The general idea is just to play this guy, the Warzone Grunt, where the deck takes the name, that has rush, so he can attack enemy's minion, and if he kills a minion, he can attack again, so you can attack another minion. Combined with always a bigger Zerg Modular that gives +2 attack, and the excess damage dealt by attacks hits the enemy hero. So if with a 10 mana minion I'm attacking a 3 health opponent's minion, I'm doing 7 damage to the face of my opponent. But as long as this guy can attack again, if I'm attacking another 3 health minion, I'm doing another 7 damage to the enemy face. And all the deck works around this combination. So, first card is Catch of the Day, Rush, 3/3, and summon a 2/1 Worm for the opponent. So, it's very flexible. So, the main idea, of course, is just to summon a 1 health minion combined with this and with this, so we have an actual low health target. The drawbacks are that if the opponent has some taunts, this is not very effective, but most of the time you can just summon the minion. Of course, it's a very flexible card, so you can even use this in other situations. Just like a tempo play, you can just play on turn 1, whatever you want to do, because 3/3 stats is very good. Of course, if you're summoning the 2/1, you have to trade that first, but it's really flexible, depends on the situations. Capomassus, the drink of the deck, giving +2/+1, usable 3 times, 1 mana cost. The minion is random, so you can't choose, so you have to play a little bit around this to just having 1 minion in hand. Sneaky Snakes, this is a very good start, of course. Summon 2 1/1 snakes with stealth, so you can preserve your minion, but the very main idea of this is to make a combination with this. Is a char, dealing 7 damage to a minion and give a minion in your hand stats equal to the excess damage. So you're doing 7 to a 1 health minion, 6 are going to buff 1 minion in your hand. Of course, the main target is this guy, we don't have to say, and those have stealth, so there's a chance that those are surviving a couple of turns until the char is available to play. But this is a very flexible card, so you can just play on turn 1 to manage things on the board, to trade in enemy minions and everything, so it's very flexible. Spawning Pool, Zerg card, the main one, get a Zerling that rattle your Zerg minion have rush. So this is the basic Zerg card. Tracking, I don't wanna spend too much time. This is from, I think, the core set of Hunter. Discover a card from your deck, and that's a thing that makes the deck works. So you're basically choosing the cards. Of course, main targets are those one and this guy, but very flexible. It really depends on the situation where you are. You can even choose other cards. Always a big Zerg Warlock, we have already seen this. Bird Watching, you can discover a minion for a deck and you just get 1 copy of that minion. I mean, not 1 copy, one minion, not a copy, just 1 of them, and you give all of them +2/+1. So if I have 2 grunts, I'm just drawing 1, but both of them are getting +2/+1. In this particular case, with no other buff, they are becoming a 5/7 minion. Titan Forge Trap, so you can discover a secret. Exact Nayel, you get tracking as hero power, so 1 mana discover a card, very strong. I think the strongest card of the deck. my opinion, because it makes all the decks works, because you can choose a little bit with just 1 mana, whatever you need. Food Fight, summon a 0/4 and tray for your opponent. When it dies, summon a minion from your deck. So this is something that of course is targeting the combo Warsong Grant plus always a bigger Zerg Morgul, but it can also be used to you know, deal a little bit with the rest of the opponent's board. So for example, against a very aggressive deck, if they already have 1 or 2 locations, you can put this in order to occupy a spot on the opponent's board. But this is of course a side use of the card. The main thing is to create a target for the Grunt, as it's the catch of the day. Then we have Nidus Swarm. Draw 2 Zerg card, they cost 1 less. Of course the target is Miss Kerrigan here and the Spawning Pool, that are the only 2 Zerg cards that we have in the deck, so we can just draw those, nothing more, nothing less. As you can see, we just have 1 copy of this, so it's something that is extremely targeting Kerrigan and the Spawning Pools. Reserved spot, give a minion in your hand +4/+4. If it's the only one, reduce its cost by 2. So this is very particular card. It's very strong, but you need to play it because the minion that you're choosing is random. So you have to work with your hand to just have 1 minion in hand. But it's very strong because it's a hand buff, very strong hand buff, and you can reduce the cost by 2. So you can make a Warsong Grant going down to 2 to 3 mana cost, and if you're playing 2 copies of this on the same Grant, you can discount it even to 1 mana cost. So very strong. Char, we have already seen this. The idea is of course to target the snakes, but you can also target of course opponent's minion or whatever you want. Alien Encounters, this is a survivability card, summoning 2/5 beasts with taunt, and you can reduce the cost of this every time you're discovering a card. And of course the main idea is just to play tracking, to play Exarch Nayel, and to play of course even the Titanforge Trap is discounting 1 or 2 times depending if you're forged it or not. So the idea is to play this around 2 mana, 1 mana. Of course the ideal play is 0 mana, but you can arrange that. This is Ranger Gilly, is Warrior Tourist. At the end of the turn give you a Crocolisk, and that rat will give all the minions in your hand +2/+3. So the Crocolisk itself, and of course our big guy, some Zergling coming from the pool, some catch of the day, whatever you have in hand, get buffed from the Ranger Gilly. But pay attention, it's a death rattle, so you're playing, you're getting the Crocodile at the end of the turn, and then we will see. Warsong Grant, we have already talked about that. And Kerrigan, the Queen of Blades. So this like very strong hero power. As you can see, it summons 2/5 queens that gives your hand a little bit of manageable. You get that hero power that is dealing 3 damage, and you're doing 3 damage to all enemies, so very flexible card. Of course you can get this for the Ravage, so dealing damage to the board and to the face depending on the situation. You're doing 3 damage to all the enemies, and of course here you can see the combo, because here you are summoning a Food for Fight that is a 0/4. If no damage is taken from the Food Fight, you're doing 3 damage with the Kerrigan, and this is going down to 1 health, so you have a 1 health target for this guy. So this is just one of the use you can do. Of course the Queens gives you larvas by the turn you're playing them, so larvas are becoming other Zerg, so a lot of a lot of discovering and long-term effect. So let's see some matches. So here is the first match of the day. This is Hunter against Death Knight. This is usually a very unfavorable match for Hunter, because by the time you are buffing the Warzone Grunt, usually with Infestor, spreading the Death Rattle and everything, you are already dead, because he got 2 big Zergs that are pushing your face, and the Warzone Grunt is not that effective. But the situation we are going to see in this match is probably, I think, the only way you have to win. Not by the play we made, but by the play our opponents made. You will see this in a couple of turns. So this is a coin, starting very strong with Brittle Bone Buccaneer. We're going with just Titan Forge Trap. That is basically quite common turn 2 for our deck. Here is the Death Round Handler, so already some value from the Buccaneer. And let's see what's going on turn 3. Let's see if the Infestor will come down with the Death Rattle and no Infestor, and this is the basic condition for our win. Here he just play a Queen, and this, as I've already said, is very good for us, because if an Infestor was coming down, there's basically not that much we can do with this deck, because we can't kill it. Even if we are killing it, it has Reborn, so we're not really killing it, and giving the effect to himself with the Reborn, it's not even a 3-1, but is a 4-2, so 2 health in that, so it becoming very hard to manage with it. So but he gave us the information that he doesn't have the Infestor, and here is the Chillfallen Baron, and this is a very interesting card. And here he remarked the information that he doesn't have the Infestor, because as you have seen, he of course spread the Chillfallen Baron Death Rattle. That is not what the Death Growl is supposed to do. The main idea of that is to spread the Infestor Death Rattle, to have gigantic Zergs that are lowering the Warzone Grunt effect, and that are basically pushing your face, so you can't survive enough to have a gigantic Grunt. And even if you do, it's not doing that much against 10 Zergs. And here is a Viper play. It's not going too good, thanks to the effects of those secrets that have basically buffed the Grunt in play and bouncing his Queen back to the end, making her cost even 1 or 2 more. Don't remember exactly the effect of the secret, but as you can see from the screen, now we have a 10-8 on the board, and here to manage with it. And we also have the tracking hero power, so we can close the match this turn, because if we're finding not always a Jorglormar spell, the match is over. But as you can see, we don't have this luck, so he didn't get so much punished for that play, at least right now. But we still have a 10-8 on the board, so we can push this 10 damage to the face, bringing him down to 18 health. Here is our legendary that is giving us a Crocodile to the end, and if it dies, we also get an end buff of +2/+3 to all of the minions we have in hand. But now, of course, his main problem is to get rid of that grunt, because next turn we are having the tracking hero power again, so another chance to get the 2-mana spell. And as you can see, he have done everything in his power to destroy this guy. And here we are. We found the always a bigger Jormorglar, so we can look for the grunt that is basically guaranteed from this spell. And we want to get rid of the Crocolisk just in order to have only one minion and to play all the couple muscle we can this turn on that single minion. And here we're going to trade his Yeller, his Yodeler, sorry, just to make the most damage we can to our legendary, because we want the death rattle to be procced, and here it is. That is buffing some more our grunt, and this is one of our basic win condition. Now he's not in a good spot because he didn't play an infestor yet, and he knows we have a Warsong Grunt, a buffed Warsong Grunt, and we have the tracking hero power, so we can choose cards from the deck. Here is finally an infestor, but if I can say a bit late. And here is our closing catch of the day, is summoning a 2/1 for our opponent, and here it is. And then we're playing Grunt plus the Zerg Armor, and we have 2 targets, and it's GG, because we're doing 14 plus 14 is 27 in a turn, and GG. So here we are. This is our second match in this guide. Is against Warlock. In particular is a Location Ultralisk Warrior. So here is our mulligan. Of course, Kerrigan is a bit like too high costing to be kept. I decided to keep Food Fight in hand just because the opponent's deck is used to play several locations, so we can eat a spot on the board, on one of the 7 spots on the board, and we can set a reasonable target that is not dealing too much damage to our Warsong Grunt. So here is a basic start with the snake, festering up for him, and spawning pool. So the first location, as I was telling you, he's just playing many location. Here is our one of our standard turn 2 when there's the coin. So exact Nayel is one of the best thing to do, because the hero power is making your deck working more or less exactly as you like. You also see we have another tracking on our hand, so we can discover another card. So here is the Ultralisk Cavern, and this is the main reason we attacked with the snake the last turn, because we know he can play this kind of cards. And so here is what we are, I told you a few seconds ago. We can choose the cards we are going to play. Here is the reserved spot. Here is another tracking, probably, or not, couple muscles. So we have decided to start buffing the Grunt, and here is another 3 damage, not another, 3 damage from the exact Nayel. So here's the Forge Wheel, so turnover, because you don't have the mana. Here is a natural draw from the 2 mana spell that is helping us, so I've decided to buff as much as I can the Warsong Grunt. So you have seen a 1 mana buff last turn, a 1 mana buff this turn, and actually we are able to perform the combo next turn, because we have a 3 mana Warsong Grunt with the spell in hand. And as you will probably see in a few, here is the turn when he's summoning, in my opinion, too many things, because the Ultralisk Cavern goes down to 1 usability, and as you may know, he got a spell that is costing just 1 mana, taking 1 health of that and summoning, so making the death rattle trigger. So he's summoning an 8/8 Ultralisk plus an 8/8 Giant, and then I've used so many times the location, and here is another 0 mana 8/8 Giant that is coming down to the board for a total of 24 damage, against 28 health. Unfortunately, that 1 mana spell heals him of 8, so we actually have a 11 attack grunt, so not enough to do little, because his minions are just too big for our deck. And here I've decided to look for a target for our grunt, and here is the catch of the day. Basically exactly what we were looking for. Here you can see the power of the Exarch Nayel. So hopefully he doesn't have this 4 damage, and they usually don't, because that deck is built around summoning as early as they can gigantic minion and then push your face, so they don't usually have hand damage. They have the 5 mana legendary spell that it can do 6 damage to the face. If they have that, the game was over, but I can't play around that. And here is our play. So he probably wasn't expecting this. So catch of the day, this summoning the 2/1 Warsong Grunt plus the spell. That 3/3 is going to lower a bit the enemy giant health, and here we have performed 20 damage plus something else, and the game is over. So thanks for watching. And here is our last match against Warrior. This is of course my favorite of the series, not because it was my legend match, but because you will see a very particular use of this deck that I've probably done just in this game, and I want to share with you, and I'm quite proud of this play. In the other 2 matches you have seen like a regular use of this deck, so buffing the Warsong Grunt and dealing damage to the face, but this is not doable in this match, because the idea of that warrior is to survive until he have gigantic battleships that are giving him like tons of armor and are basically playing against our combo. So here you have seen a buff on the Zerglings on turn 2. So summoning 2 5/5 Zerglings on turn 2 that are basically unkillable for him in this situation, and they are pushing 10 damage to his face from turn 2 on. So I'm able to dig into my deck to summon other things, to buff other things in hand, while I'm still pushing 10 damage per turn, as you can see from turn 3. So his idea of building the gigantic starship is not going very good actually. And here it was one of the play I'm proud of, because here I got the freezing trap just in order to get rid of his starship piece. You may think is a bit too much to spend the freezing trap for a starship piece, but in this particular case that starship piece represents the only piece you have on the board and a chance to start to build something. It is exactly what we are trying to playing against. And here is his ham killing our exact Nayel, so the idea was pretty clear to destroy him before he can get that big battle cruise. And here is another interesting play. As you can see, I had the idea to play that 3-3, but I prefer not to, just in order not going into a brawl, because if he is actually brawling, he can just kill 1-5-5, and it's of course too much for a brawl. That's why I choose not to go with that Zerglings. Here, as you have seen, he played a Gash Gift and then an Execute. If I was playing the 3-3, he can just go with the brawl, regular brawl, and this is making us basically lose. And now he's trying to build this gigantic starship, but he's already down to 12 health, and this is how he's lost, because we are winning with the two Zerglings. We have not played the turn before. As you can see, we have two spells to play, and here is one Zergling doing 4 to the face, here another 4 to the face, and the Zergling we have played on turn 2, and that's it. So thanks for watching. And here is our